Alright, hello and welcome back to Shadows over Loathing. Here we are at Crystaldream Lake. If I remember, yeah, last time we got the valve for the guy in the lighthouse. And then I went into this room and this is where we stopped without me actually doing anything. Check out the back room of Valley Hardware. I guess this is where the valve is. We have to actually grab it, probably in this weird parallel dimension here. A pile of waterlogged garbage. It's a good thing you don't care what month it is, because this calendar is worthless. Seepage has caused this concrete to become set in its ways. The shelf is empty, but even the emptiness is somehow dirty. Anything else? How much of a door has to be gone before it doesn't count as a door anymore? Nasty trash. These boxes would be perfect for storing a collection of mildewed clothes. I still don't know what that damn word is. Something's wrong with this door, in a way that termites and flooding doesn't readily explain. Step through it? Yes. You step through the hole in the door and immediately feel a sickening lurch in your stomach and a burst of "this was a bad idea" in your mind. Like when you hit the first rope on a traveling carnival's rusty and hastily assemble the roller coaster. After a moment, when the feeling has subsided enough, you open your eyes and look around. It looks like you're still in the same place you were, except someone came in and cleaned everything up while you weren't looking. Huh. Stacks of boxes, neatly labeled. Shelves full of neatly organized hardware that definitely hasn't been destroyed yet. It's a workbench covered in tools. Boss fight maybe, because that is there. There's a 1917 calendar on the wall by the desk. It looks brand new. As you leave the storeroom, the shopkeeper spins around and you both stare at each other in surprise. You, because the shopkeeper looks quite a bit younger than he did when you went in there, and him because... Hey now, what in the heck were you doing in my back room? And how you get back there without me seeing you? I'm a termite inspector. I didn't call for any termite inspector. No, I do surprise inspections, so the termites won't find out in advance. Well, how'd you get past me? I'm very good at my job. Huh. Well, I don't expect you found any termites. I make my own custom pesticide. Yes, it seems to be pretty effective. I might have to go back in there for a follow-up check later, though. It's fine, I suppose. I just don't move stuff around too much. I like to keep it tidy back there. No problem. Outhouse rentals. Jeez. It's the hardware store guy. Back when he was younger. Is younger. Talk to him. Welcome to Wally Hardware, best hardware store in Crystaldream, Wally. Why is that? Well, shucks. I keep changing his voice, sorry. Well, shucks, nobody's ever asked me to justify that claim before. Is it because it's the only hardware store in the Valley? Huh, that's a good one. I have to remember that. I'm sure you will. What can I do for you? Ask about outhouse rentals. You're renting out houses? I mean, you're renting out outhouses? Yep. At least I was. Now that indoor plumbing's starting to get popular, there's no market for them anymore. Just got the one left, and after that I'm calling it quits and putting up new ones. Can I rent the last one? Aye. Sure thing. It will be 200 meat up front for the installation and half that each month after that for maintenance. What maintenance do you do? I dump some powdered lime down the hole, clean out the ventilation pipes and check for splinters, and once the pit starts to get full, I'll move the outhouse over a couple yards and dig a new one for you. Plus, you get a free subscription to the local newspaper. Pay him. Great. Where do you want me to put it? I don't know. I've heard impulse shopping, but buying an outhouse when you don't actually need it, that's a new one on me. Listen, that thing ain't going nowhere. Why don't you just hold on to the meat and come back when you got a plan? Thanks. Okay. At least he gave back our meat. What else can I do for you? Oh, I have to scroll down. Okay. What do we have for sale in the past? Plunger? No. I don't think he has anything different. Didn't we buy this already? Yeah, we did. I'm going to buy another one of those and another fuse and another match maybe. Maybe I'm overspending. The shelf is laden with dangerous pesticides that you're pretty sure were banned years ago. You don't understand the purpose of any of these tools and never will. A sign on this barrel says, "Not for sale." A barrel of gleaming nuts and bolts. Yeah, so a bunch of them are similar. No, they are similar but not the same. Paints in all of these seasons' most popular colors, such as plain orange and old-fashioned black and classic yellow. I like to buy one of those new Gluckstone valves. Sorry, government fellas bought my enter stock. What? For the big dam they bring building, I can order you one there. How long would that take? 6 to 8 weeks? Would you mind holding on to it for me if I'm not back right away? Oh, sure, that's no problem. How long you figure? 11 years? What? No, forget how I said that's not a problem. We're not. Listen, I can tell you they bought a heap more Gluckstone valves than what they're gonna need for the dam. If you go up the worksite, you might get the foreman to sell you one of their spares. Where is it? Southeast end of the valley. You got them up? Well, I have a postcard. Crystaldream Lake. I never heard that, but it's got a little picture of a dam on it there. See, it's about the same place relative to here. There doesn't seem to be anything on the other side of this door. Weird. Okay, so I almost got the idea. You don't know when you are, much less where. Ah, yeah. So first I thought we can just travel between the past and the present, but thankfully that is not the case and it's a bit simpler. I say thankfully because then we could be visiting all the locations. So let's go back. Oh. I got flashbanged. Hello again. What can I do for you? Ask for another candy. You know what I do, but you also know that I just... Oh. You know that I do, but you also know that I just gave you some. Don't be greedy. I wanted to ask about something else, if you don't mind. What do you have for sale? Oh. Alright, let me check. Steel-toed boots. Heavy boots. I'm just going to check the difference. Okay, this is more like clip-clop. Okay. So I guess now we can go to the dam. Is the distillery my secondary objective? The mob wants to clear a nest of vampires out of the distillery. Yeah. Let's stick with this one for now. Let's go to the dam at least. Two of those hovering shadow orbs float up to you. They look basically like the ones you saw before. That is, they look like nothing or perhaps holes in everything. But these ones move with purpose, and that purpose is menace. The two orbs squint at you, and Dark Noel's voice echoes inside your head in a way that makes your eardrums itch. Well, well, if it isn't my favorite holiday party crasher, perhaps I need to be more explicit about the fact that you weren't invited. I don't really get the holiday thing. Crimbo, okay? It's my thing, and I'm sticking with it. You must have had a weird childhood. That's none of your business, and neither is the rest of this investigation or whatever you think you're doing. You need to learn to keep your nose out of other people's affairs. I'm just trying to find my uncle. How about you keep your nose out of my affairs? What a disagreeable little urchin you are. Do you know what naughty children find in their crimbo stockings? Yeah? A festive cheese log. You swirl your hands in a mystical pattern and launch a cheese log covered in chopped almonds and napalm at the orbs. Dark Noah's screech can be heard through the explosion. Ah, that's it. You're on the very naughty list now. Next time we meet, I'm really going to deck your balls. Oh, balls. The black orbs relish in little puffs of smoke. Fa la 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 la, jerk. Okay, Crimbo must be Christmas, right? But I didn't admit last time, but I don't know the meaning of Crimbo. I'm going to Google it right now. Yeah, an informal word for Christmas. What are you doing for Crimbo? Okay, that's the weirdest word for Christmas. Crimbo? This, what you call it, is huge. Damn. Do you have anything to say? No. There's a lot of lake water in this pipe. Go fishing. You caught a greeble. You toss it in your fish sack. Fos brotula. And the slab munchkin. This pump has a Galaxton valve on it. Grab it. The valve was held in place by decades of corrosion. Even if you could detach it, it'd get wrecked in the process. This drain pipe has some nasty goo coming out of it. A beautiful flower stands in defiance of the reining in of nature. Smell it. It smells as good as it looks. This pump has a Galaxton valve on it. Grab it. Okay, same line. There's a hobo code next to this pipe. Translate it. The code reads, meat hidden in pipe. Oh, you reach into the pipe and snag the concealed and congealed wealth. Nice. Oh. Another one of those time doors. Let's hope that repeated exposure to these isn't going to give your ancestors cancer. Go through it. A door is being delivered. Ah, okay. Crate labeled pipe shoes. See what's inside. Huh. This is probably not what they meant to order. You got an item, pipe shoes. This don't make any sense, but you're just going to have to roll with it. Helps you get around. Okay, I'm not really a fan. What about this? Okay, that's okay. Some careless damn worker has abandoned the toolbox here. Their loss is my gain. Spray on asbestos and an all. I guess it stands to reason that a structure this big would need more than one truck's worth of concrete. This one is empty. This truck is even heavier than a regular truck. Fish. Nah, you don't want to get your hook stuck. Hey, Noel says nobody who ain't on the crew is allowed on this site. Noel? Yeah, Noel, the foreman, Noel White. Jeez. The man clutches his stomach. Are you alright? Just starving is all. Rest of the crew went to lunch, but somebody had to stay here and keep all the rubberneckers and looky-loos off the site. I drew the short pants. Short pants? Do you mean straw? No, we got these 6 little pairs of pants we found when we cleared out a nest of fairies. I say, can I have them? No, because then we have no way of picking who stands guard. Oh man, I can't believe how hungry I am. It feels like I'm gonna turn inside out. What about that table over there that says lunch? There's a reason everybody else left the site to eat, pal. You don't wanna eat what Noel considers lunch. How bad could it be? Is it jelly deals or something? Man, I kill for a jelly deal. Noel brings these sandwiches that are just a bunch of peppermint sticks between 2 big blend sugar cookies. You can get a stomachache just watching someone else eat them. Blech. Sounds awful. That's because it is awful. He clutches his stomach and moans. Offer him something to eat. But are these things I have? You can have a fight. Are you sure I can think of the reasons that to fight this guy? What are the reasons? Oh, that was the narrator. Okay. Well, the first reason is that he seems like a pretty decent guy, and the second reason is that while you've been doing whatever it is you've been doing with your life, he's been swinging iron beams around, driving posts into the ground with sledgehammers, lugging sacks of concrete and stuff like that. So he could probably crush you into a paste with a single finger. Probably not even a whole finger, just one of the knuckles. I'm not scared, bring it on. I don't wanna give away my items. Oh. That damn guard. Oh. Okay, I should have listened. He will one-shot me. Unless I hypnotize him. Can I survive? No. And I'm dead. Yeah. It's way too strong. I should have listened. Guard? More like hard, because of how hard he punched you. You realize that winning is better than losing, and you resolve to do better in the future. You gain an effect, trying again. Losing that fight filled you with determination, and what you've determined is that in the future you should try winning fights instead of losing them. +1 max AP. You know you get an XP? Yeah, don't get. I'm just going to do this and then just immediately lose, because I wonder if we can get more buffs out of this. We actually do. Guess we can always get back the same buffs then every day by doing this. I mean, we don't actually lose anything. Aloof. How many of them we have? I think we can get a bunch more. Oh, I should have surrendered. Okay, we got back our mysticality. Going to keep doing this because I think we are almost down with like all the stuff. Okay, that's it. Reduce the combat speed again. Okay, offer him something to eat, like first I want to check my food items. Food. Physical armor, stanch armor, physical armor, homemade cookies. Okay, let's give him the homemade cookies, although he just complained about not liking cookies. There you go. Oh, wow, thank you. He greedily devours it. His stomach is still growling. Oh, no. Okay, then. I think it was the panini. Hold up. Food. Stench armor. I will keep this, but I think we... Wait, how much stench armor we actually have? We have 2 on this. Sleaze armor. Okay, I will keep that because we can use that for like the chest. Okay, let's give him the pressed ham panini. Thank you. He's starting to look a little less hungry and a little more relaxed. Okay, wait a minute. Wasn't there a crafting station somewhere? I guess it was back in the shop, wasn't it? Oh, fine. You can get the freshly baked roll too. Oh man, if you had to describe his current mood, you'd probably say he's 60% sleepy and 40% hungry. Oh my god. Bucket of charm, here you go. He's almost asleep, but still looks like just a little bit hungry. I'm really not willing to give him the Gagat. I think we could make another one though. Let me check, was there like a station here? Oh man. It has to be at the hardware store. The stench of death hangs heavily from the trees in this glade, but this is curious. On the forest floor, a handful of standing stones is displayed, scattered with no regard to order. Arrange the stones. With the stones arranged in the pattern of a thumbs up, the trees are visibly rejuvenated. Belong. Okay, maybe it was in the past. Yeah. Oh, but this is a tool thing, not for food. Yeah, these are all combat items. Hang on, do you have food in the past then? No. Okay, maybe there was something in the lighthouse. Molly points out a sign posted at a fork in the trail. Sandwich Historical Village and Witch Trial Museum. Oh, witches, let's go check it out. You like that kind of spooky stuff? It's the berries, gets the blood pumping, you know. Well, if they have a haunted house, you have to promise not to shoot any of the actors. No promises. Sandwich Trial Museum. Well, that sounds like food to me, so let's check it out. The village of Sandwich was home to a terrifying witch cult until all the inhabitants were convicted and executed in witch trials in 1692, and the village stood empty and uninhabited for hundreds of years. Come explore the town and learn more. There's nothing that way but an empty parking lot. The Danforth residence has been converted into a gift shop for your convenience. Why not take home a jar of the sandwich cream that was the village's chief export, besides witchcraft? Shelves laden with identical jars of white stuff. Shelves laden with identical jars. Oh, same thing. Hecate is staring glumly at an empty dish. Is there anything here? An elderly woman smiles from behind the counter. See what's for sale. Rubbing paper, it's a quest item. This special piece of paper is for making rubbings of historical graves and such like that. Thanks to advancements in rubbing technology, you don't need any charcoal or anything. Buy it. Oh, she has infinite amounts. And sandwich cream. Wait, don't we need this for something? for the dough, baby. This condiment purports to be the perfect topping for any sandwich. Oh, hold up, I have to sneeze. Okay, sorry. Doing the voices makes me want to sneeze. This condiment purports to be the perfect topping for any sandwich, but the ingredient list suggests that it's just old congealed cream. I will buy one. It's quite expensive. This house was the residence of the Danforth family. Step inside to learn more. Putnam House, which partially burned down under extremely witchy circumstances. The security guard is keeping a close eye on things in here, which honestly isn't very difficult since there's only two. Talk to him. Hi there. Hello, welcome to Putnam House. Please don't touch the exhibits. Ask him about the exhibits. Excuse me, Sorry sir, I just got paid to stand here and keep an eye on things. I don't actually know anything about the exhibits. Oh, guess that won't work. Everything in this house was destroyed by fire except these two objects, which were found concealed inside a metal box. There's an antique ragdoll on display here. Take a look. This ragdoll has a bunch of old pins and needles stuck into it, and for some reason has the word boring embroidered across its front. The little plaque on the front of the flint says, witches frequently used special dolls called puppets to curse their enemies. This one was apparently made to target a Mrs. or Miss Boring, though no one of that name is listed in the town records. And then, in tiny text at the bottom of the plaque, the pins were not found with the puppet but were added for demonstration purposes. Interesting. Okay. This splint has an old book on it. Take a look. It appears to be someone's diary. Oh yeah, the little description on the front of the splint says, Diary of Delia Putnam, so that confirms that. Mostly it doesn't look interesting enough to be worth deciphering the archaic handwriting and spelling, so you flip ahead to the last page. 6th of March, 1692. I hate that Peter Proctor so much. He thinks he can just go around being as mean as he wants to everybody just because he has lots of money and lives in a big house and all. I should have used a much stronger curse. It would have been worth the trouble. Stop reading. This trove may have been used to bait human sacrifices before the ceremony. We don't have any evidence of that, but it seems possible. This is a horse trove. Actually, it's a water trove. I don't know why I said that other thing just now. Question it. You really in a pair of old shoes? Saddle shoes. They called saddle shoes because, like a saddle, they worn directly underneath the butt. Ride the ground like a horse. I mean, we are kind of already doing that. A true Scotfish. Pinafore halibut. Oops. Ah, it's the butt dragging thing. Make a wish. Gain 20 meat. Continue fishing. 23. 22. That's everything. We actually use this well for water, so please don't throw meat into it. Wait, is that true? This spot is all fished out. Try coming back again tomorrow, maybe. Nice gazebo. Gazebo. The sign reads Sandwich Gazebo, vagrants not welcome. That's not very friendly. Sandwich's church also served as an ersatz town hall, courtroom, racquetball court, and dark sorcery place. In 1692, the inhabitants of Sandwich were executed in the witch trials that were popular at the time, as evidenced by this old signpost announcing one such trial. The sign is written in a rough black wax. Today is the trial of Patricia Williams, who stands accused. The rest of the sign is too weathered and decayed to read. Okay, I actually don't like the noise we make when we use this. Let's switch back to the crab one. I like that. The altar where the town's witches perform their horrifying sacrifices. Note the bloodstains. An old and dilapidated church altar. There are some brown splotches on the corner that could possibly be bloodstains. Just checking if there are any secrets hidden behind the pews. This leads to a little cemetery behind the church. Oop. Wait, let me read this. The wealthy Proctor family owned the biggest and most conveniently toilet-adjacent house in the village. This chessboard has clearly been left out on display as an allegory for the battle between good and evil. Black is winning, representing a warning for all good-hearted people to be vigilant against the encroaching forces of darkness. These dried thrones are of no historical significance. This Aras appears to depict several important ancestors of the Proctor family line. Though due to the low resolution of embroidery used at the time, it's impossible to discern exactly who. Check the footnote. It has been pointed out to us that this Aras is unlikely to have been manufactured in the capital of the Pas-de-Calais department of northern France, and therefore it is merely a sparkling tapestry. You're not fond of this plant. There's no plaque on this table, it must have always been boring. According to county records, these were the most expensive stairs in the county. They go up a full 1.5 floors. Stairs to the second and the half floor go up. Oh, I see. The upstairs rooms are off limits while we catalog the contents. Please pardon our dust. This bedroom was traditionally given to servants, as it was felt by the proctors that it would be less of a tragedy if they got up in the middle of the night and fell down the stairwell. Mrs. Proctor's bedroom is especially off limits while we figure out how to deal with the strange mold we found behind the wallpaper. Mr. Proctor's bedroom, home to the country's most extensive collection of cravats. This was the bedroom of Peter Proctor, the only child of Nicholas and Abigail Proctor. This was the Proctor's spare room, where they kept spares of all the expensive things they owned. This room is not part of the tour and is also not part of the house. These stairs just keep going until they hit the wall. Seems like rich people have just always had weird taste. Go down. That's everything in here. Traces of strange plant matter in these tubs prove that they were used for brewing all kinds of horrible potions. You look into the tub but don't see any identifiable traces of plant matter. Guess you'll have to take the sign's word for it. Sandwich boasted the country's very first tripartite outhouse. Please do not attempt to use it. It is very old. There was another thing there, no? An old-fashioned 3-seat outhouse. A more modern convenience has been provided for your modern convenience. Avail yourself to it. Wait. What was that? Oh, I can't read it. This facility has 3 sinks, and this is one of them. 1 toilet, 0 privacy. Flush it. You don't have any interest in investigating the area downwind of that outhouse. Okay, all we have to do is go to the cemetery now. Welcome to Sandwich Cemetery. Please be respectful of the graves. Also check out how many of them were terrifying witches were executed in the witch trials of 1692. Peter Proctor was a duty head until the very end. Beatrice Proctor, Abigail Proctor, Alicia Proctor, Nicholas Proctor. What the heck? He lived to be 130 years old? Wait, what? Yeah. Is he from the previous game? Was he in it, maybe? Proctor, our town founder. The tombstone is engraved with hobo code, translated. The code reads, Hallowed Tombstone, possible treasure. You check inside the stone and there is indeed some treasure. Satchel's lucky hat. This thing has a solid gold headband, and there's a tag inside that says property of Satchel Duggins, but help yourself if you find it in a hollow tombstone or something. Ooh, plus 30% to meat drops. I am going to use that. That's too big. Should I enhance it? I might as well. Yeah. Can I do it again? Your head already has a comfy lining. 2 linings might make it so comfortable that you immediately go to sleep when you put it on. Then could I do this? I guess you could. I'm not sure if I want to. If I acquire something that we have duplicates of, I might try it. Okay. John Putnam. Millicent. Wait, something is not right. Joseph Putnam. Marian Putnam. The tombstone is covered in lichen. Thomas, Clarence, Teresa, Patience. Huh. There's more space in that direction, but there aren't any more graves. So why did we get the paper then? I guess it's not for here. You know, the paper that said that we can like copy stuff from gravestones. Okay, that's pretty much about everything in the town, I think. I don't think we got any sandwiches though. Okay, maybe I will just give them the baguette or gaguette or whatever it is. Off the side of the dirt road, you see a little trail of mushrooms. You follow it for a while and find that it leads to a cave whose mouth has been choked by mushrooms. Those things are bad for you. Mushroom cave. I guess we are going to the mushroom cave then, in search of food. Mushrooms are food. Oh. It looks nasty. Ah, this huge writing mass of fungus must be the reason they call this place Mushroom Mountain. Pull some off and fight them. 10 HP. Mushman Poisoner intends to spew spores at your party, poisoning everyone for 3. Mush Mother intends to deposit a fresh mushroom monstrosity onto the field. Okay, she has to die. Stench. Okay, that's a problem. I would assume they are weak or strong against stench. Which one is a bigger threat? I guess it's this one. And then I can finish this one off if I overkill it. You have reduced the amount of fungus in the mountain by a small amount. There's still a lot of fungus in there, the mushroom steak. Food. This is not really a steak, but a steak-sized slab of mushroom stem. Steak is just easier to say than all that. Increases your muscle by 1 and your max HP by 5. Nah, yeah, that is food. Oh. Can I just do this indefinitely? Oh wait, this is a different type of mushroom. Mushman feeder. It's a healer actually. Not a healer, it's a buffer. Max HP increased by 4, so we should take it out. Maybe then eventually we can enter the cave if we kill enough mushrooms. This is also good for her, because maybe she will level up by all this combat. There's still a lot of fungus in there. Fragrance spores, it's a potion. A handful of mushroom spores with visible aroma lines wafting off of them. Increases mysticality by 1 and damage of your magical weapon attacks by 3. This is actually really good. I'm immediately going to use it. Inhale. You sniff the fragrant spores. They smell like colors you never smelled before. Synesthesis. Okay. Same deal. I wasn't paying attention. Do we get meat out of this fight? Because if not, maybe we could change our hat. But I think we already do enough damage. You have reduced the amount of fungus in the mountain. Oh. Mushroom cap. It's a cap in 2 different senses. More spores and the turtle leveled up. Okay, I guess we are still not finished. Surely you can't do this forever. Because then you could just farm like stuff and XP. Oh, actually I'm overkilling it because now we deal 11 hot damage. Mushman spear. Like the story of its acquisition, this spear is long and painful and nobody at the coffee shop is interested in it. I'm going to up the combat speed while we are doing this. Oh. Okay. We could one-shot them, but I think it's more important to get rid of this guy first. So we can kill that and then just do that. Yeah, actually it's not too bad at 200. We're only doing this for convenience though. I prefer it at 100 because it's not too pleasant to look at it. We're getting different groups, but the rewards are not changing. Mushling. And then a mush mother. Has 5 health. Oh, I messed up. I keep forgetting about the AP moves. by random chance. I was hoping that the random, like I wanted to whittle some down, and then with the random shot, because her skill is random. It's alright though. 11, we will do 11 to that. 3, 3, so we can kill one. And then I guess we can just... Oh, there's another one behind them. Okay, so it's important to get rid of the mush mother all the time. What? Can I not click on that? Hello? Mushman Explode Spore is just sitting there. When it is destroyed, it will poison your entire team for 3. Okay, more spores. What's your guaranteed damage? Oh, it does reduce muscle. Okay. I think the gun is better though. Cause that was 3. Yeah, he still has 7. Okay. Let's just get rid of the little guy. Oh, we can't. Whoops. Then the big dude. I'm dead though. Uh-oh. Yeah. Whoops. Your eyes were bigger than your stomach when it came to those mushrooms who repeatedly punch you in the stomach and blacken your eyes. You know you get enough XP. Okay, shut up. The fight keeps changing. Maybe this is really just an infinite farm then. Only do that once. Ah, crap. Okay, let's hope that Molly will randomly shoot that mushroom. Which she did. Can't click on that one. It's annoying. Can I... Ah, I can use tab. Okay. We can get rid of one. And this one seems tough. Yeah, I think it's time to use combat items the next time. Can they only do the buff move once? Seems like it. Yeah, it might be time to level up. Oh, we have 200 XP. Jeez. Max AP. Wisdom of Yarsburg. Constantly damage enemies. You radiate both strength and an ever-present powerful cloud of cheese smell. Yeah, actually, I'm going to get this. Oh, she also leveled up. Hehe, this is the berries. I ain't got in this many fights in ages. What, you don't do a lot of fighting for the mob? They're all wet. Always giving me an info. Shooting up the place is bad for business, blah blah blah. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Only Moxa increased by 1. Now if we get some more XP... Oh, the fight changed though. Who is this? Manmash Magus. 3... We can do this 3 times. So that's enough to kill that. Or... Okay. Let's do this. And pick the kill up there. There. I'm overspreading in hopes that the random damage will do it. So I think this one is easier than the Peter fight that we just had. Where is our random damage though? I mean our dots. This is just... Ah, there it is. Okay. Okay, so at the start of every turn we do that. Gotcha. Uh-oh. Oh, we might be able to do this if we don't die here. Yeah, nice. Still saying there's a lot in here. I seem to recall from West of Loathing that you have these kind of fights, but eventually they will run out. I think. I mean, the fights are getting harder. So that might be a good indication. No one will die this turn. Oh, never mind, I lied. Might be possible if we get lucky here. Yep. Oh, we do stench damage. So that's not even ideal against them. Then we go for the big guy. Oh no! Okay, we have to kill this. It's bleeding damage. I would rather... Is there nothing that just does direct damage? Oh, lick the battery. I feel like we have to kill the big boy. Oh no, I'm dead. Is it boring that this is all I'm doing? I'm curious, like I could find this out off camera too. Oh, I did the exact same thing again. Okay, fine. Oh. Oh, never mind. I was hoping Molly could do it. She can't. Okay, is there really anything we could do? 61 XP. Plus mysticality would definitely help. Yeah, buy this. So now we do 12, right? Yeah. And we can also do an extra AP thing at the start. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to continue doing this, but I will pause the recording because I don't wanna like I could cut it, but I feel like it's best if I pause because you know I can just pause when something comes up and just read it out and then tell you what happened. I'm just going to farm this a bit, not too much. I just want to see if you can actually get rid of this. So be right back. Okay, so we're back. I did a bunch of fights. Should also turn down the combat back to 100%. This is still ongoing. I will just show you. Let's just do one more, just for the sake of it. What happened is that Molly leveled up a bunch. Well, 2 other times. So now her clobber does more damage, and the other thing that she got after that she goes faster in combat. As in, like, her initiative is, like, higher, you know. And that's about it. Oh my god, this is so slow compared to 300%. Let me just quickly do this, because honestly, it's kind of boring just farming this. Look, I don't play this game because of the combat. Still have one more. Actually, I think it's better to... yeah, no, let's go for this then. The clobber does 8 damage now. Doesn't really matter. Bam. See, and we still get the same message. There's still a lot of fungus in there. So I'm not sure. I think this is probably like something that you can do either indefinitely or for a very, 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 very long time. Maybe it just exists just in case you wanna scale up your companions or characters, but I don't really wanna do too much more of it. I spent about like half an hour, I think, doing this. How much XP we have? Oh my god, that's way too much. Let me, with that XP, I think, is there such thing as books? Yeah. Cooking with power tools. Oh, I never learned this. You read the book and memorize some of its sloppier techniques. You get a skill, stealth and splatter. In order to achieve mastery over cheese, one must sometimes embrace the curdling chaos of its fundamental biology. Deal 3 sleaze damage to 3 different enemies. Oh. There's an appendix full of advanced recipes you could memorize if you really put your mind to it. Can be used to further upgrade. Oh, right, the handgun style. Unlike most old versions, this one is written from the perspective of a gun. This was something that we picked up at the very beginning, so let's study them now. You commit the techniques to memory and then practice them by shooting the book to pieces with the nearest convenient handgun. You get a perk, Advanced Handgunnery. Your mind is filled with tricky handgun techniques. You should get the 2 gunnery and practice them, +1 to ranged weapon attacks. And then, which one is the technique I usually use? Is it the Parmesan? Missile? Mind Melt. I also have not learned this. You read the weird book, including all the several page-long footnotes, the parts in different typefaces and orientations, and the parts written in languages you don't speak. Mind Melt. The brain is similar enough in texture and composition to cheese for a skilled wizard to manipulate it. Deal an opponent's mysticality to itself in hot damage. Oh, I remember picking this up. You can't help but think there's more to the story than this, though. Maybe you should read it again. Yeah, sure. You read the book a second time and pick up a few new weird details. You still don't understand most of it, though. Your subconscious must just be a bad writer. You decide you've had enough and melt the book with your mind. Then I think it's the missile, right? Wow, the soldier who wrote these notes was a real masochist. If these techniques aren't against the Geneva Conventions, they certainly will be within a year or 2. Upgraded, you discard the book in disgust, the horror. And this is the one that does stench damage. Okay, these are my new skills then. Can I learn something basic too? How much XP we have? Muscle, hot armor, max HP, more mysticality, +5 XP from fights, more AP. Yeah, let's learn this. Wisdom of of Yarsburg. Bam. And that's done. We are out of here. Okay, now we for sure have all those, not sandwiches. What did we get? Steaks. You discover a ring of mushrooms growing in a strange pattern. Oh no, please not more mushrooms. Identify the pattern. Using your training and intellect, you identify the pattern as a circle. Wow. Alright. Offer him something to eat. Finally satiated, he slumps to the ground and falls fast asleep. This guy is in a well-deserved food coma. The sign says lunch, but what's on the table isn't identifiable as anything you want to eat. Klaxman screws, Grafton nuts, Daxton shafts, Waxman discs, Braxton cords, Frampton picks, Glaxton valves. Grab one. There's only one left. Good thing you got here when you did. It's a brand new 11-year-old Glaxton valve. It's good that they're building a dam. It'd be a shame if future generations got to enjoy this beautiful forest. This brick outhouse is extremely well constructed. Step inside. The taps don't work, but there's still a bunch of water pulled in the basin. Handful of clean water. Oh, that's it. Workman-like toilet for workman-like workman. Flush it. Hooray! Alright, we got the wall. We can go back. Oh, right. We actually have to exit this. Then on to the lighthouse. Your meandering hike takes you near the lake, which may not have been reflected in the map displayed, but you'll just have to suspend your disbelief on that one. Molly picks up a flat stone and skims it expertly across the water. Nice one. Thanks. Hey, Buck, how big a rope do you think you can chuck? Row muscle isn't exactly my forte, but I guess I do, alright. You pick up a fist-sized rock and pitch it into the lake with a splash. A loud plonk follows close behind, and you turn to see Molly picking up a softball-sized rock with a grin. That's impressive. I may look like a girly girl, but my tummy's got a kick like a mule. Gotta give the rest of these pistons, you know. Is Tommy your boyfriend? That sounds kind of... My girlfriend's name is Nancy. Tommy is short for M1921 Thompson submachine gun. Alright, I knew that. She heaves another large rock into the lake. You try your best to match her, but it's not much of a contest. Molly's muscle increases by 1. Continue on your way. That's cool, so now I guess her clobber deals 9 damage. It's some kind of funky pump contraption installed the wall. Fortunately, the place where it slots in is clearly labeled. Why are we doing this again? Tell the lighthouse keeper you installed the Glaxton valve. Hello again. I installed the valve. Aye. I've been watching the water level through the window here. Should be dry enough for our purposes now. Come on upstairs. He disappears through the door behind him. Follow him. An empty and wet bookshelf. Good thing he had his book downstairs. Most lighthouses have somewhat a bigger lamp. A box of spare 60 watt light bulbs. Ask about them. You only use 60 watt light bulbs? Don't mean much, ain't that big a lake. Huh. Well, here we are. Welcome to where the magic happens. Magic? Sure. It looks... Old lighthouse keeper joke. So can I have the compass now? What? No, certainly not. I need that. But you asked if I had an old compass, and I said I did, and that I'd show it to you. Never said nothing about giving it to you. Oh, well, I really need it, though. So do I. I got to calibrate this lamp to the North Star every so often, and I need a good compass to show me which one is the North one. What if I get you a new one? Nope. I say the good one. The new ones ain't any use at all. Why not? Because of how they changed them. What? Changed the compasses? They didn't teach you that in school. Folks got short memories. It was only round about the turn of century. Some Atlas company bought the patent on West and rebranded it as New North. Then they did a recall on all the compasses and issued new ones. They all point west now, and that's useless for my purposes. Okay. Well, how about I find you another old one then? If you can find another pre-New North compass in at least as good condition as mine, then sure I swap you. Don't really get what the point of that would be though, since you already have one. Well, it's a long story. Never mind then. Here, maybe this will help you. Most of the old compasses got radium paint on the dials so you can read them at night. This old Geiger counter ought to be able to pick up the radiation from that. Okay, sounds safe. The newest innovation of the Hey Really company. This device allows you to detect radiation by making an annoying clicking noise whenever any is nearby. Where should I start? But most folks consider the old kind of compasses to be trash nowadays, and if I was trash, I'd probably be at the old junkyard. Neat, thanks. To the junkyard. You see a familiar-looking person heading toward you on the path. As they get nearer, you realize that the reason he looks so familiar is because he looks exactly like you. Turn around and leave, or greet him. Hi, are you a clone, or is this a time paradox or what? Turns out it's a time paradox, I guess. Wow, crazy. I agree, high five. The two of you, literally speaking, exchange a friendly high five. Kiss him goodbye. You lean in for a kiss goodbye. No tongue now. Yeah, we wouldn't want to make this weird or anything. Smooch. Wink. Now you get to look forward to a second one. Continue. Where am I? Oh. A heated fishing rod cooks the trash from the inside. Pull it out. The trash is left medium rare, but a connoisseur would eat it. Well done, hot rod. This rod is almost too hot to handle. Oh hey, there's something shiny in this pile of trash. Grab it. It's a ring. Neat. Fustilant ring. Instead of a gem, this ring sports a little globe of nasty cheese. Quest of Fustilant also reduces his target muscle mysticality and moxie by 1. Well, it's a ring though. What do I have for a ring? Makes you... Oh, yeah, I would rather have the salesman. I'm not really using the Quest of Fustilant though. What is it? Oh, that's my Geiger counter. Right, I just have it out. This pile of trash must be especially appealing to flies. See why? Ah, of course, it's because flies love things that are awful. Sorted grease and crystal grulch. This radio must be solar powered or trash powered. Stench armor. Okay, okay. We have... Oh my god, yeah. You can see how much I did the mushroom stuff because we have way too many mushroom caps. Spooky armor. Stench armor. Then we need a bit more. Sleaze. Hot. Oh, wait. Maybe we have enough. No. Stench armor. Is there no more? Elemental armor. Stench. Uh-huh. Oh, those are the only two things, huh? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Are we sure though? Poison, cufflinks, spooky armor, moxie, hot armor, mysticality, spooky. Okay, I have a lot of spooky armor. Alright, then we won't be needing this. Give me back my hat. Wait. Oh, that's also spooky. Equip this. And then let's eat the baguette. Wood, baguette. Eat. Dig through it. Congratulations! It's the worst pair of pants you could ever imagine. Yay! Trash-soaked pants. Wearing these pants makes you wish you could afford better pants. Plus 20% to meat drops. Hold on, hold on. You know what? I am willing to sacrifice that one mysticality that we have for this. And also, let's add some armor to it. You place the rivets on your pants, making them pants with more rivets on them than they had before. And then, can I do this as well? No. Okay. There's a dude there. Okay, wait. This hobo is trying to wrestle a stove out of a pile of trash. Okay. Hi, Beanie. Hi, Beanie. I'm Barnaby. What are you up to? I'm trying to get the stove so I can haul it back to a hobo camp outside of Ocean City. Oh, you know about the camp? Yep, I'll be cooking up a mess of beans once I get the stove back there, let me tell you. Ask him about the hobo code. Do you know any hobo code you can teach me? Sure, heck, I know about a dozen different symbols for beans. Wouldn't one be enough? They all look pretty similar now that you mention it. Help him get the stove out, we can do this. With a sort of grunting and heaving, the two of you manage to yank the stove free. Phew, thanks a million, pal. Now I just got to drag this back to camp and I'll be in beans knees. See you around, Beanie. Before I go in the cave, sleaze armor, okay. What's this? Nothing? Okay. Sleaze armor, I reckon we do have the stuff for. Sleaze, that's 2. Then we probably have a hat. Stench. Oh, don't tell me we don't. What about this? Spooky? Oh no. Okay, let me use the filters. Elemental armor, sleaze, sandwich cream, lip balm, the slacks. Okay, well, we know we can buy this, but we also know we can use this in recipes, so let's use. Does it say how much I have? I guess because only one shows up, I only have one, so let's use the lip balm. That's okay. We have a bunch of spores. You gain an effect balmed. Your lips would be right at home in Gilead. Wait, it said it was a funny description. Now you can kiss anything. Okay. It seems like all the wettest, slimiest trash has been stored into this pile. Search it. You grab a nasty old spoon from the pile and use it to dig through the goop. You don't find anything, so you just keep the spoon. I don't know why you would keep the spoon, but you did. Nasty spoon. From the looks of it, the spoon has been used to eat a lot of unspeakable chowders. Oh, those are mysticality plus 3 in sleaze. Hold up. It's better than my hot thing, right? I have to sell a bunch of these. The mushroom spears. Re-equip that. And then, let me see. Yeah. It's better, unless they are strong against sleaze. This opening leads to an underground labyrinth of filth. Unfortunately, your gag account is ticking faintly, so you're probably going to have to go in there. I hope you aren't wearing your favorite anything. It turns out that this garbage dump is much deeper and older than it initially appeared. Huge rooms and tunnels have been carved out of the trash like the worst archaeological digs imaginable. Weirdly, it seems like the trash caves are home to a swarm of large, beautifully colored butterflies. You move toward them slowly, so to not startle them, and as you get closer, you realize that instead of having regular insect bodies, they're little people. Fairies. Wow. Greet them. Hello there. Hello. Gosh, you're really beautiful. You're beautiful. Haha, that sounded just like my voice. Are you guys mimics? That's real it's on my face. No, not my ass. What? Oh, what the hell? You swept away a fairy that had fluttered up next to you and attempted to stab you in the neck with a rusty needle. Okay, I just be on my way. Look out, Jim. That one's got a gun. Indeed, another fairy is approaching, lugging a full-size snub-nosed revolver in its little arms. Hello, beautiful. Run. Okay. There is an ironically half-buried shovel here. Take it. This device is called the shovel because of the way it shoves dirt out of the way and the fact that the guy who named it liked the letter L for digging. There are other fairies in that direction, frolicking around and making animal noises. Dying animal noises. Fight them. Fairy Wakadu. 9 HP. Is either going to heal everyone on the battlefield by 6 HP or deal 6 physical damage. Intends to explode, dealing 4 hot damage to your entire party. Gunmother. Fairy Gunmother intends to shoot 3 random opponents for 4 physical. Mush Thunder intends to conjure up a mushling to assist him in beating you up. And Pine Needle. Fairy Pine Needle intends to jab Pampy the Turtle for 7 physical. Okay. We can finish one off. Can actually kill the Wakadu. Get whacked. Kablamo. Alright, now we also have the new skills. Can hit for 12, but we can deal 5 stench, 5 physical and reduce moxie. I can just kill everything, I feel like, by doing this. Okay, and then I will do splatter. Damn. This also heals. I'm just testing these out. It does hot damage. Get blasted. We have so much AP. You won. Your reward is getting to explore further in a literal garbage tunnel. Oh, okay, don't pout. You can have some loot too. Fairy charm. What fairies lack in charm, they make up for in... Well, I was going to say skill at making jewelry, but this thing is honestly pretty crappy. +3 to magical weapon attacks. Oh. Fairy dust. It's weird that such wild creatures can have such nice dandruff. Increases your spooky armor by 3. That was this item. +1 mysticality. I think this is better. We shall see. There are a lot of fairies in that direction, flitting around, giggling manically, and occasionally saying things in other people's voices that you can only assume were those people's last words. Fight them. Okay, clobber someone for 9. Big Humper. Intends to hump. Oh, not Humper, Thumper. Whoops. 7 physical. Okay, this one I think is probably more dangerous. Oh, he didn't die? What? Well, no, I did. I forgot we do that damage too. Let's do splatter. Splatter again. What if there are only 2 targets? Okay. It's not as effective then. You won! With those fairies out of the way, you can get to the northern tunnel. Wait, is that north? The leftern tunnel. Fairy cake. To a fairy, this is a huge birthday cake. To you, it's a grisly reminder that you killed a fairy on its birthday. Increases your mysticality by 1 and the damage of your magical weapon attacks by 2 until you eat something else. So, anything nearby? Oh, there's a loose coat hanger on the ground here. Grab it. You never know when this could come in handy. You're not sure why anybody would want to wear a coat made of wire, but whatever. We already got one of those before. This room is positively swarming with fairies. There must be something pretty good over there, or at least something that fairies think is pretty good, which is an opinion you might or might not share. Blow through them. Clobber. Maybe at that rate, using the Tommy gun might be better. I guess not, because it's not guaranteed that the stench damage that we do at the start of our turn would kill stuff. Just going to use splatter. We still have 2 more AP after this. Oh no, only 1? That's fine. Yeah, holy crap. We can do a lot of moves. You won. Now it's time to see what all the hoopla was about. Oh, another portal, huh? Someone has thrown away a perfectly good giant novelty piggy bank. Smash it. Sorry, piggy. Hey, whoever threw this out didn't take their meat out first. Step through the rift. You're a robot. Ah! Part of nothingness is missing here. What's going on? Can I punch? E, F. It keeps saying ready. Oh, space. Okay. I see, I see. It's here. It's a brain. Can I not grab it? A throbbing ring of negative energy around a smaller, less throbbing ring of negative energy. You should ask Jessica about this next time you see her. Okay, it's one of these again. Wait, I saw that. What's this? Hobo code? This half-buried sign has a hobo code on it. The code reads, "What is junk, really?" Wow, that really makes you think. Oh, wait, what was that? No, there was something. A nasty book is half buried in the nasty ground here. Half buried? I guess that's supposed to mean buried. Pull it out. You rip the book out of the ground. Now you should go wash your hands. Flora Fotidae. Being a record of royal botanist's voyage aboard the HMS Cannibalism to catalog the world's stinkiest flowers grants an upgradable skill. Nostradamus. Stenchard. Read. This catalog of the worst smelling flowers on this earth is considered the most nauseating book ever written, even before you get to the cannibalism chapters. Get sniffing. The bloated corpse flower is a nasty bit of olfactory business. I almost do not want to serve it with cottage cheese, but you know me. That certainly paints a picture. There's nothing your nose doesn't know. There's plenty left to sniff in this book if you got the nose for it. Sure. This white flowering plant is not just deadly when consumed, it is also murder on the nose. I call it Lily of the Smelly. There's even more. In hot July, fruit flies and a group of hundreds descend into the dry belly of the largest Venus flytrap they can find and commence to make frantic love. Truly one of the vilest orgies I have ever sniffed. Okay, now how much innate stench armor we have? +3. I wonder if the list can get so big that you can scroll. It kind of seems like it. There's a whole flock of fairies here, all armed with rusty needles. It almost seems like they're practicing their fencing skills, but their fighting style is so chaotic it's hard to tell. Okay. Let's just shoot them. I feel like we are OP at this point because of all the mushroom fights. Huh? Oh, there's a door there. What's this cat? Oh, it's a foot. A foot from a big statue. That's how far you are away from this and what it is. Someone threw away an entire fence? Okay, let me go in here first. Holy dang, somebody threw away a perfectly good cow skull. These are rare as heck considering that there haven't been any cows in this country for more than 30 years. Oh right, that was the plot of the first game. The cows and the clowns. Well, I say plot, the first game was kind of like... It didn't really have like an overarching story that much. It kind of had, but it was more just wacky. Mounted cow skull. It's always hard to tell whether one of these is part of a normal cow somebody killed for sport or the entirety of a horrible floating cow skull somebody killed in self-defense. This would look great in your room. The Geiger counter is really going nuts. This must be the spot. Just beneath the surface, your shower strikes the top of a crate. The Geiger counter continues its irritating clickery. Even in Stalker, I get annoyed by it. Stomp through the crate lid. You give the top of the old crate a mighty stomp and end up ankle deep in compasses. It's better than being ass deep in compankles. That's what you always say. Haha. Anyway, enough jokes. You grab the least ruined looking compass. This is a compass from back before they change which way is north. You also breathe a sigh of relief as you turn off that annoying Geiger counter. True. Now back to the lighthouse. None of the other old compasses look to be of value. Okay, there was this other way too. Let me just check the walls. A teetering stack of crates is holding up part of the ceiling here. Kick it. Oh. The trash has collapsed into an unsafe staircase-like heap. That was extremely lucky. Yeah, I was about to say that. Oh. Is this a new way out? Yeah, it is. Okay, let me just double check some things. Because I feel like it's easy to miss interactables in this place because it's so cluttered. Okay, I reckon we are good. Now we are right next to the distillery, so let's do it. You notice a particularly cobweb-strewn copse of trees, and as you get near it, you catch a glimpse of a big hole full of spiders in the middle of it. You can just barely read the old wooden sign next to it, declaring to the world that the hole belongs to Beppo. Beppo's hole. Pretend you didn't find it. This is the vampire stuff for the mob. A spooky-looking lady is guarding the front of the old distillery. Presumably, she's a vampire. She looks spooky enough to be a vampire. Is that racist? Approach her. She glares at you as you approach, her eyes flashing blood red. Begone from this place, you have no business here. I do actually, and I'd like for you to invite me inside. What? No. Don't you have to... I thought that was one of the big vampire things, that if someone asks you to invite them inside, you have to do it. That is nearly the most opposite of true that it is possible for it to be. Oh, darn. Leave this place at once or the consequences will be most dire. Ah, oh, come on, don't be like that. What's eating you? If you do not leave, the question will be, what is eating you? And the answer will be, me. That was pretty good. Haha, yeah, you really set me up for that one. Threaten her with mystical powers, bewitch. You cannot frighten me, foul creature, for your power issues from the darkness of the night, and I... The night? Oh, jeez, I completely lost track of the time. She looks up at the midday sun, and her hair bursts into flames. With a screech, she turns into a bat, which is still on fire, and escapes into a hole in the inside of the building. Okay, then. This is the hole that the guard fled through. What even is artillery, and why should you care about this one? Oh. This door is locked with a government issue. Combination lock must be a prohibition thing. Ah, so if you don't have the mob quest, then you have to have the moxie. Use Don Toblerone's terrible combination to unlock the door. Alright, it was 9999. Wait. Almost everything on the shelf is busted up trash, but there's one unsmashed crate of booze. Grab it. Crate of rum. With prohibition on, all varieties of liquor are technically for pirates. Take it to the speakeasy. I guess this is where Grandpa Joe kept all of his broken glass. The booze that used to be stored here is now in booze heaven. It's a laboratory workbench. Let me check my potions. Spooky armor, sleaze. Spores. I actually don't have too many things. What are my perks? What was the perk that we acquired? Stench armor. Let me see. Let's grab some... Let's make one of these. And then... one of those. Stop making potions. Just for the future if you need it. Some hobo code is painted on the side of this barrel. Translated. The code reads, be careful not to drop your handkerchief in this barrel. You reach in the barrel to see if anybody ignored the advice. They did! You got an item, booze-soaked handkerchief. This is a hanky soaked in some nice-smelling schnapps. Oh, +5 stench armor. There's a label on this vat that reads Grandpa Joe's extra fancy garlic schnapps. Wow, maybe it wasn't prohibition that put this place out of business. Open the valve. You crank open the valve and dump out about 12 gallons of pure distilled garlic juice on the floor. Wow. Even with stench protection, it's a nasal experience you won't soon forget. The vampires completely flip their collective shinola. Some of them turn into bats and fight each other to be the first out of the hole in the wall. Some turn into mist and shoot out of the cracks in the ceiling, and some just run out of the front door. After that, you hear several screams as they realize it's still daytime outside. That should satisfy Don Toblerone and his boss. Hopefully they won't mind the smell. Alrighty. Oh no, I kind of wanted to fight them. Or at least talk to them more. This vat intentionally left empty. Unfriendly vat. Do not use. Yeah, but still. This drum is almost certainly empty. Bang on it. The drum emits a hollow, sober clang. This sofa is soaking wet. One of those mist vampires must have been sitting here. Those vampires left a crate of booze on the floor. Grab it. Crate of gin. In this crate there are many bottles, and in each of the bottles is a bunch of delicious gin. The mirror on this vanity has been broken, but the drawers still work. See what's in them. Porcue's torque. This type of necklace is called a torque because it stays on your neck due to torque rather than any kind of clasp or hook or whatever. The grindstone ring. This ring makes you want to punch somebody in the hopes that doing so will make the ring less uncomfortable. Almost all of your random encounters will be fights. No. This table is strewn with miscellaneous vampire stuff. Pick through it. Vampire boots. These were invented when a cobbler accidentally mispronounced vampire bats. Okay. Makes you float like a spooky vampire. Bloodle. It's a piping hot strudel filled with blood instead of, I don't know, raspberries or whatever strudels normally have in them. Increases your max HP by 5, makes you immune to bleeding. And cosmetic wine. Vampires' metabolism won't process real wine, but vampires still want to look like cool wine people. Increases your moxie. Let me use the shoes. Ooh, I like that. Wait. Should I talk to her? Oh. I guess we got the quest then. Or was this not really a side quest? I mean, that's why we got Molly. Let me check out this hole. You push through the woods and into a small clearing and discover a group of 3 vampires, because apparently you aren't allowed to discover anything good in any of these clearings. Well, I say 3 vampires, but there's 1 vampire, 1 bat, and 1 small cloud, so it could just be a vampire, her pet bat, and the leftovers of a Bean's lunch. I assure you, we are all 3 vampires. Oh crap, she heard me. Talk to them. What's the deal here? Are you demonstrating the vampire evolutionary line or something? What? You know, like the bat evolved out of the cloud and then the humanoid vampire evolved out of the bat? No, it's... Is it a bat caveman vampire? No! If anything, this is more like the 3 states of vampire matter. What? You know, solid, liquid, and gas. Bats are liquid? Look, the metaphor is not the perfect one. Are we going to fight or what? Oh, if I had more moxie, fight them. Okay. Wow, you guys are really not tough. 6 damage, 9 on the bat, and 9 on the conjurer too. Oh, we do 14 damage now. Yvonne, I wonder which one of them was Harpo. Skull cane. An elegant cane with a spooky silver skull on the end. These are muscle +3 spooky damage. And more cosmetic wine. There aren't as many spider eggs in here as there could be, but there are still too many. The plaque says Beppo's Hole at the top, and then there's some fine print. Read it. Beppo's Hole is named after Beppo P. Suricchio, who purchased this plot of land in 1903 with the stated intention of creating a shark sanctuary. He managed to dig one decent-sized pit, but before he could fill it up with sharks, it filled itself up with spiders, or perhaps it would be more accurate to say that the spiders filled it up with themselves and their offspring, their teeming hordes of woeful, venomous offspring. It is the opinion of the Crystaldream Lake Historical Society that Beppo's Hole should be avoided at all costs. In fact, we probably shouldn't have put this placard here or included it on any of our maps. May those you leave behind forgive us. Presently. You swore long ago that you never deliberately walk into an impenetrable mass of spiderwebs. A wriggling mass of spider eggs. This wriggling cocoon is roughly person-sized, so it's either a person who's been cocooned by a spider and is slowly suffocating to death, or a person-sized mass of baby spiders. Talk to him, her, them. Hello in there? Are you a person or a mind-breaking quantity of baby spiders? Is that the kind of noise that a whole lot of baby spiders would make? Cut them free. You cut apart the cocoon, bracing yourself for true horror. Fortunately, it turns out to just be a guy in there. Yeah, thanks, Fred. You had me worried there for a sec. They called me Doc. I came here to get some free ghosts. Got a bit more than I bargained for. Hi, Doc. I'm Barnaby. I assume from your doctor hat thing that you're literally a doctor? In the sense that doctoring is my profession, yes. In the sense that I have a legal license for practicing it, no. Oh, I see, it's a hobo. You were looking for ghosts? Yep. The webs from big spiders like this make really great surgical gauze. It's strong, self-adhesive, and even sterile if it's really fresh. Unfortunately, I can a bit of more than I could chew. You can chew it too? No, I meant metaphorically. One of the great big spiders that live in Beppo's Hole caught sight of me. I don't recommend messing around with that hole, especially if you're flushed to the gills on medicinal alcohol. I see. Ask him about the code. Oh, sure, I can teach you the hobo code for all kinds of medical terms. He teaches you how to read his handwriting and then teaches you some hobo code. Right. Hobo code knowledge increased. Tell him about the hobo camp. You know there's a hobo camp just outside of Ocean City. They could probably use a doctor. Great! I could use some patience. Because I'm much too eager to get doctoring. That's a joke that works better out loud than in print. But anyway, see you there. Okay, bye. Well, into the hole. There are definitely a lot of spiders in this hole. Jump in and fight some. Oh, big ones. It says 9. They only have 9 health. Oh wait, is this one of those infinite things too? It might be. Man, now I'm so used to this faster combat, I might put it up like a notch. There are now slightly fewer spiders in Beppo's Hole. Spider Legman. This is likely to start some arguments about whether or not various things technically count as venge. These are mysticality +2 physical damage and causes 2 poison. Oh. And then spider venom sex. This is the organ where spiders keep their poison. The organ they use to play their hymns is kept in a spider cathedral. Let me turn this up to 200% and then do a couple more just to see what kind of loot we can get. If I turn it up to 300, there won't be enemy sounds, so that's why I keep it at this rate. 5 stench. Or 5 physical. But it also reduces mobsters, so this is the Missa is arguably better. Globe of spider webs. Is it still a web? If it's not in a web shape, I suppose that's a question best left to the spider philosophers. What happens if I do this? Oh, I even have friendly spider on my side. Okay. I don't know if their numbers increase though because of the options, the meme options. You cleared out the spiders for now. There will be probably more spiders if you come back on a different day. Okay, so this might be a thing, coming back on different days. And what about the mushrooms though? It makes me wonder and almost want to go back to farm it more. Based on this. Now, what is our objective? Because I already forgot the main thing. Take the compass back to the... Oh, right, we got the compass. Someone has set up a little lakeside refreshment stand here, although from its abandoned state it doesn't look like there's been much refreshing going on in a while. Also, depending on when you get this random encounter, it might not be particularly near the lake. Maybe that's why. There's a meat-operated red cola cooler here though, which still looks to be in working order. A can of red cola. Drink it for your country. Urges the label. Max HP. Buy soda. Oh, we got another one. You drop your meat into the slot and turn a crank. The door pops open, granting access to your prize, such as it is. It's a shame the war prompted the big soda companies to start putting their drinks in cheap tin cans instead of the nice glass bottles they used to use. They tasted much better that way. Check the meat return slot. Everything tastes better in glasses. For whatever dumb reason. Even when I get like a bottle of plastic cola, I always put it out in a glass, and sometimes I drink it out of the bottle if I'm lazy, but in the glass it's just better. Check the meat return slot. Hey, the meat return has 5 meat in it. Lucky break. Okay. Hello again. You find that old compass you were looking for? Sure did. What do you think? Could use a polish, but it seems to be in good condition. Alright, I swap you. Let me get that old Geiger counter back from you too. Man, he's like so greedy. This compass always points toward the evil version of North. Thanks. Yep, no problem. Get along now, I got a lot of important nothing to take care of. Leave. Bye. Alright, well, we got the compass. A da baby, we can finally do it. We carefully follow the recipe and whip up a little da baby. Give it a name. Hill Douglas, that's actually... That's a good name. I'm almost tempted to name it that. If I write it like this, Dagi. Let me call it then Dodi. Doddy? Doddy? Doddy. The dough baby. Doggy? It seems so wrong to write it this way. Dog. Fine, I will just call it Doddy. Doddy the dough baby. What do you actually do? Because I forgot. Kills its owner. When Pampy, each round of Pampy hits a random wounded ally by his mysticality, which is only 4. I'm going to switch to the dough baby. I'm going back to the cave. In case we also encounter something. I know I can wander too. You're walking through the woods around there's a huge spider. It jumps down out of nowhere and aims its butt right at your face and shoots a huge globe of web at you. Time slows down around you as the horrible sticky butt sails through the air directly at the part of your head where you keep all your most important sensory organs. Sorry, I guess that was a weird way to phrase that. I couldn't think of a good synonym for face. Watch out, the Fae. You duck and roll out of the path of the incoming goop and just keep rolling until you're completely out of this part of the woods. I forgot to turn off the spider options. Let me see if that makes a difference here. It actually does. We got a little spider boy. We do 9. We have not tested our new skills on the mushrooms yet. Oh, there goes my dough baby. Oh, but they also get a spider. I didn't notice that. I'm really hoping it would hit the little mushlings. We are out. 12, we do 11 now. Or we do 11 on this, but not on this. Oh, this is pose as well. Why it's so slow compared to the 300%? Or did I... I might put that on 200. And just leave it on 200. Oh, I forgot. Okay. My bad. I should have killed this guy. She does the most damage. It's fine though. Okay, let me do another one. Oh, I didn't turn it off. Viper Stripe Sniper Spider. I should probably turn that off. Okay. Let's do this. Well, we may get lucky. I changed my mind. Okay, we got lucky there. Yeah, it's hard to decide. I don't think this is very good. Maybe we should upgrade it. 11. 12. Is it because it's sleaze damage with the spoon? Oh, they can actually be poisoned. What did I want to do? I feel like this is better than the nasty spoon. Let me test it. Look, this is good for the dough, baby. Oh, and I also wanted to upgrade this Stilton Splatter. Okay, I will remember that name. $13. Plus it poisons. Oh no, she died. Doddy the dough baby grows stronger. Let me look at the books. This one. Study. You memorize the messiest recipes the book has to offer. Speaking of messy, you carelessly drop the book into a nearby pile of trash. Ew. This one gives sleaze armor. It says an upgrade was skill. Oh, but okay. The world's sleaziest joke, culled from the world's sleaziest toilet stalls. If you can stomach this, there won't be much left in heaven or earth that can scandalize you. Be shocked. It takes a lot of to make you blush. Okay, one more. Mainly because I kind of want the XP. And also want to try out this. Yeah, this is not really good. Oh, but now it does to 5 different enemies at random. It didn't upgrade the damage. So it's still kind of an overkill. But at the same time, it takes 1 AP, so if there are multiple targets on low health, it's obviously worth using it. Alright. Let me see, let's wander just once. You see a familiar looking person heading toward you on the path. As they get nearer, you realize that the reason he looks so familiar is because he looks exactly like you, again. Approach him. Hi, are you a clone or is this a time paradox or what? Oh, we switch now. Turns out it's a time paradox, I guess. Wow, crazy. I agree, high five. The two of you, literally speaking, exchange another friendly high five. Or well, I guess it's just the first one again. Nice. He leans in for a kiss. Goodbye. No tongue now. Haha, yeah, we wouldn't want to make this weird or anything. Smooch, you shoot him a swing. Now you get to look forward to a second one. Continue on. Let's do another one. Find a decaying nightstand discarded in a ditch, which is kind of a weird place to find a nightstand. Maybe someone got so mad about stubbing their toes all the time that they angrily drove it out to the woods and threw it out of the car. Check the drawer. Dang, there's all kinds of useful stuff in there. A paper clip. From multinational treaties to 4th grade homework assignments, the humble paperclip has dutifully guarded our sheaves since whenever the humble paperclip was invented. Stench armor. Let's do another one. Oh, wow. The future version of yourself throws up to you and hands you a fat wad of meat. You know it's the future version and not the past version because you don't remember this happening before. You gain 300 meat. Here, take this meat. Technically, I guess I should be repaying it to the future me, but that's me now, so you'll have to do it. What? But what's the point in giving me meat if I have to give it back to me later? You'll be making meat more easily later, so this won't seem like as much then. Just think of it as a no-interest loan. On the contrary, I actually am interested. He rolls his eyes at you. Sheesh, future you is a jerk. Haha, yeah, anyway, don't forget to pay back. Don't forget to pay you back Or the universe probably explode or something. You're on your way. Okay, one more. Off the side of the path, you see a squirrel with its tail stuck under a big rock. Great. You lift the rock and release the poor squirrel. It chitters at you with something that's sure as heck better be gratitude. Move along. As you're walking down... finally, a new thing. As you're walking down a dirt road toward your destination, you catch a whiff of dog food. You turn your head toward its source, which turns out to be a pet store. Greta's compassionate pet store. Go greet Greta. I was hoping for a new location, that's why I kept wondering. It's one of those boxes full of bees. A bee box, you think it's called. It's called an apiary. Apparently this box hasn't been harvested in years. The honey is hard as rock. Impenetrable shellac. Some shellac comes from insects, but if you don't know, that can come from basically anywhere. Smart of Greta to sell compassionate pets instead of indifferent ones. Scrawny looking cat is sleeping here. Better leave this alone. Meet your next best friend today. Good friends are hard to find. Greta, you presume, talk to her. Hello there, welcome to Greta's Compassionate Pet Store. I'm Greta. Hi Greta, I'm Barnaby. Can I ask you a question? Of course. Where are all the pets? Oh, they're out back. In cages? No, in the woods. I see. What stops them from leaving? Compassion. Okay, what pets do you have for sale? Well, I've got this snake available for adoption. I also got one giant mosquito left in stock. What do you feed this? You don't have to worry about regular food. They graze or scavenge for whatever. They're very resourceful. But it's certainly convenient. If you want to soup them up a bit though, make them really beefy, I sell some specially formulated family chow. I'm a little uncomfortable with the use of words like soup and beef in a pet store, but okay. Tell me about that special chow. I've got 3 bags of family chow left. Family chow is specially formulated to beef up your bodies. Want to buy a bag? Just 100 meat. Sure. 1 bag of familiar chow coming right up. More like going right down your familiar skillet. Haha. This is made out of the same stuff as regular human food, but man, do people get really judgmental about you if you eat it. Increases the familiar's muscle, skeleton, and moxie by 1 and maximum HP by 3. I could use that on the dough, baby. Tell me about the snake. Oh, you can't go wrong with the world's most dangerous rope. This guy will totally fill your enemies up with poison. Just 150 meat. We already do poison. But I will grab it, because I want to have all the options. I take it. You won't regret it unless you make it mad. Now you just need to give your new venomous friend a name. Slippery D. Pythagoras. Is that how you write it in English? Or am I missing? I'm probably missing... no, if I do PH in Greek, that would be an F, right? Right? Whatever, Pythagoras. This is a snake, python, you know? Pythagoras the snake. Thanks, Greta. No problem. Anything else catch your interest? Tell me what you have again. A giant mosquito. Hey, nah, don't knock it. A mosquito is great to have on your side in a fight. Not only can they suck the blood out of stuff, they can also pump that blood into you to heal you. Mathematically speaking, this twice the power. A mere 150 meat adoption fee, and it's all yours. I take it. Buzz. That's actually a nice one, but I will just call him Martin, the mosquito. Martin, huh? Classic. Here you go. You might want to get a malaria shirt just in case. Even this thing's size, you're glad it's friendly. I guess that's it. Oh, She can still give or sell more chow. Not right now. No problem. Anything else? Unfortunately, I'm totally out of pets. I guess it's fortunate for the pets, though. I guess I have all the pets I need right now. Bye-bye. Okay, before we continue on, first let's see the encounter. An oddly rectangular brown rock catches your attention, and on closer inspection it turns out to be completely rusted and partially sunk into the ground. Old pre-war soda cooler, although someone fitted a meat-operated lock onto the door at some point. Due to the rust, you can't tell what brand it was. Heck, you can't even tell if there's any soda still in it. Buy a soda, maybe. You force some meat into the slot and grind the crank around until the door grudgingly unlocks. Inside you find a raccoon skeleton and one extremely old can of soda. This can of cola is so old and rusty that you can't even tell whether it's red or blue, or maybe some kind of potable brown cola that you never heard of before. Deal 15 damage to an enemy. Continue on your way. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to do some more fights just so we can get some more XP. And I will just pause the recording again. Not end the episode yet, but just going to pause. So be right back. Alright, here we are. I just did a couple fights, not too much. Let's head back. How do we do that? B. Ocean City. And then... Oh, can we... Actually, no messages. But how do we complete the thing? Is he just working out or waving? What's up, Charles? Got something you might find handy. I finally found the time to check out this door behind me. And turns out there was an old bricked up passageway back there. It leads right to Noblesse Oblige. Well, that's pretty convenient. Thanks, Charles. Hey, don't mention it, kiddo. Leave without mentioning it. Oh, we also... Yeah, we have the ram. What is? The groundskeeper from Goldthwaite Park and the jokes and gag salesman from Miss Brewster's are chatting about something. Listen in. So then, when they bend over the water fountain to take a drink, boom! Huge spritz of pressurized water right in the face. But here's the clever part, see? It only happens once every 20 or 30 times the button is pushed, so nobody ever expects it, even if it's happened to them before. Say, that is pretty funny. Wait, what? Let me show you these diagrams for what I call Whoopee Park Bench. You'll love this. It's always a good feeling to see two people hit it off so well. Hey, no. Oh, I make spooky noises when I float. I didn't realize that. Hey, Dan. Right back at you, baby. What's new? Here's your cut of the profits, baby. I found this case of rum. A bit of island nectar, eh? I found this case of gin. Let's gin up some more business for sure. I found some floor grapes. Floor grapes, eh? Well, when life gives you floor grapes, make floor wine, baby. Sounds like a plan. Ah, and now we can also order them. Let's order some gin. There's a shot of gin, works for me. He slams the shot glass down in front of you and fills it to the brim with gin. Drink it. Oh, actually, it's probably best if we have something else, like something we lack, which is Moxie. Do these overwrite each other? Moxie? Yeah, I think they do. Alright. So we can come back here to collect some money. Oh, I forgot to do this before. I got that compass. Oh, good. Not too much of an ordeal, I hope. Could have been worse, I guess. There were some horrible fairies. What? No, don't tell me. Just uncurse that thing and then get some rest. Okay. I think the next artifact is a book. I have the location narrowed down by morning. Sounds good. You sit in the chair, which is surprisingly comfortable, and pull the weird metal dome thing over your head. What would you like to uncurse today? The shadow-tainted compass. You sit with the compass in both hands as the machine whirs and whines and shakes around you. The machine, you feel, is frustrated. Some internal mechanism is swinging wildly, frantically, then crack. It figures out whatever it needed to, and there is no more curse. Not in the compass, not anymore. It still points to old north though, so it's practically useless. Oh, that's actually nice. You remove the curse from this compass, making it just a comp. Oh. The compass's curse is now transfixed into the cursing machine. Dare you project your consciousness inside? I will. Dare. Is truth still an option? No, it's there or nothing. Then it's there. Gosh, that looks sore. This is madness. That foolhardy coach gonna get us all killed. What do you think we ought to do? Let's get out of here. Go home. Don't you think these things just find the way they were? Why are we doing this? Am I playing baseball? He looks you dead in the eye and manages a nervy chuckle. Yeah, that's right, kid. We should listen to what the coach has to say. Like him or not, he's our coach. We ought to listen to what he has to say. People say not to change horses in midstream, but what if the horse is trying to get you bashed in the head with a baseball? That's a horse worth changing, and trust me, I know from horses. I saw one once. Alright, let's see you.
I'm disgusted that it came to this. We all know you're the weak link on the team. Some would say the team accountant shouldn't even be allowed on the field, but you tell me, did all my years of including you in team lunches and burpees make you into a baseball player?
Nah, coach, I'm an accountant. That's all I ever be.
Ah, that's crap. That's baseball there, Dash. Your destiny's out there on the diamond. Son, go hit it into the parking lot.
Gee, coach, you think Mirabelle will ever marry me? What? Say, coach, why do you ever wear that funny-looking hat?
Nothing funny about it, son. It's a cloche. The coach's cloche. Or cloche? I don't know how you say that. It's traditional.
Gee, coach, you think Mirabelle will ever marry me?
I can't answer that, son. All I can tell you is that Mirabelle has married every World Series MVP since the series was first contested in 1903. You work out the rest.
Excuse me, coach, I gotta eat something.
3 more minds broken by baseball.
You okay, fella? Oh. What? Am I supposed to do this? Yeah, but how? I'm not getting any points. Am I supposed to lose?
Hello, coach. There's no talking in baseball, son. Get out there.
What's with these compasses? My swing won't connect with them.
I know it must be overwhelming. All I can tell you is to stay calm and remember that in baseball it's all about what you do hit.
Why's the other team getting points when I swing?
It's baseball, son. If the other team ever feels physically intimidated, that's an automatic 5-point penalty.
Then how am I supposed to win at all?
Quit gabbing and get back out there. Don't you know leaving the field to talk to the coach is a 10-point penalty? Excuse me, coach.
I don't get this. I feel like I'm hitting it sometimes. I feel like I'm supposed to lose. What if I just spam it again? Doesn't seem to work. Too fast. Yeah, I do feel like huh? It's not even working anymore. And it's getting faster and faster. Okay. Fine. We have to reach like 1,000 or something? What's going on? This has to be one of the worst scenes that we encountered yet. Ah!
Son. My #1 boy, you did it! You son of a gun! You won the whole damn game!
Did I really do good, coach? Look at the scoreboard, it's 0-all. This is a whole ball game. Couldn't have done it without you.
I get over here, champ, and pucker up, cause here comes the coach's big snip.
What? Okay, that was super weird. Funny. The compass feels extremely reassuring now that it's back to being an ordinary little thing in your hand and not something hurled at your head in oversized ghostly form from every cardinal direction. It glows faintly. Oh, yeah, it got up to 5% in both. To think you were ever scared of a little old compass. Gee, coach, you think Mirabelle will ever marry me? I don't know, Barnaby, but you don't need to call me coach. We're friends. Call me Jessica. Could you call me coach, though? Maybe take it easy with that machine for a little while. Can I not tell her about... Oh. I got attacked by some kind of weird shadow monster. Like sort of a crazy abstract nightmare thing. Yeah, you seen them? Nope, never. Murray did though. He described them to me once. Did he have some kind of ultra-scientific name for them? Yeah, weird shadow monsters. Is there anything I can do about them? Well, here, take this ring. Murray gave it to me and said I could use it to banish them if I ever got attacked by one, but I never have, so you might as well take it. Shadow banishing ring. This cheap hunk of costume jewelry will probably turn your finger green, but it also banishes shadow monsters, so it's probably worth it. Maybe they are allergic to zinc. Banishes wandering shadow creatures. Is that the same thing as in the portals, or am I missing something here? Didn't you know that compasses used to be different? What? Different how? Like north used to be called west or something? Oh, right. I kind of remember hearing about that. I was only about 3 years old when it happened though. It seems really disorienting. People can get used to just about anything. Nobody complains anymore about how they stopped putting lard in chewing gum, for instance. I guess so. What about the head shop? Anything new here? Nope. But I wanna sell a bunch of the mushroom heads and the spears. This is a weapon, we only need one. And then same with the caps. I'm going to equip that then. What was that place? Was it a regular house? It was the tentacle house, I think. With a sinister blur, three of those horrible fishmen come at you out of nowhere. Well, not nowhere. Two come at you out of an alley, and the third one crawls out of a nearby manhole. Fish hole? Blur. Yeah, I heard you the first time. Shove past them. It's the same thing. Yeah, okay. Was it in the basement? The basement is under here, the stairs. Let me see. Oh, I guess not. Okay, then what was I even wearing? Oh, it was the traveling salesman. Oh, well, would you look at that. A couple of black orbs or holes or whatever these bizarre shadow monsters are made of are drifting toward you. You experiment with them a little bit, walking around behind them, moving erratically to see how closely they track you, trying to get them to collide with each other and so on, but you can't really draw any conclusions from this. Also, they seem to be getting annoyed with all your fooling around, although you aren't sure how you know that. Fight them. Oh, right, I also changed to the mosquito, because it does some damage. You won! The orbs dissolve into black smoke and I don't know, angst probably? Nice. I kind of feel like I'm missing something. I know I could go to the boardwalk to show off my hats. I wanna talk to you. What's for sale again? Colabor's rocket. Deals 10 damage to all enemies. I'm just going to buy some sardines in case the cat wants more. No, it's the petting option only. Alright. Charles flags you down. There's some applicants for the new storefront ready fixed up over there on the other side of the Colabor superstore. Got a second pick one? Sure thing. The first applicant is Advanced Bench. It doesn't say what they plan on saying, but I have to assume that it's bench. The second is Ye Olde Kepiker, some SIT science lady who wants to sell potions. And the last applicant is Bertram Bakery. Bert's a buddy of mine from my restaurant days. He makes a good loaf. I feel like a potion store would be useful. Okay, I get them moved in and get the next storefront ready for applicants. Thanks, Charles. You hang the cow skull over your desk. If anybody asks, I tell them you killed the cow yourself. Thanks. How nice of you. Anything new here? Nope. Do I have to water you? Nope. What's this bag? Someone has given you a nightstand. There's a briefcase and a note on top. Take one and read the other. The note reads, Barnaby, the quality of your work at the distillery has been noted as excellent. We will contact you in a telephonular manner with further opportunities. DT. Oh, that's the dot. Briefcase full of meat. Like a cow, this briefcase is flesh surrounded by leather. Unlike a cow, it has brass latches in the handle. Honest work for dishonest pay. Open. 300. You open the case. Now that's a lot of gabagool. You're ready to make the transition from Crystaldream to regular dreams, but before I do that, I'm going to equip the weird ring. in case we encounter more Dark Noel shadows. Another fitful dream. This represents your growing mistrust of your bed. If you repeat it enough times, it starts to sound like a real word. Glaxton, 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 Galaxton, Glaxton. It doesn't. Museum of Skulls. Obviously. Wait a minute. One of these skulls is yours and it's missing its teeth. Give it the ones you're carrying. You put the teeth back in your skull. It tries to thank you, but you have no tongue. You got an item, no tongue. You're not sure what this is, but you're sure what it isn't. Curious. Oh, Dark Noel. A strange conversation is taking place here. Participate. The woman scowls at you. You better have some good news for me, Noel. Hawk futures are up 10 points. Everything is just peachy keen, Madam President. Good. The damn project is complete. What? Everything's perfect, ma'am. The circuits are lit up just like a creamboat tree. And what about the interloper? I'll show you an interloper. Yes, I'm working on that. The little bird has told me his last name. The Magnificent, if you can believe it. Our friend Morris is his uncle. The president's frown deepens. Any relative of Mary Morris is an enemy of ours. Find him and get him out of the picture. I'd be delighted, ma'am. Both Noel and the president wink out of existence with an ominous sounding pop. You are ready for this dream to be over, and how? Can I fish? No. It's as if there is some sort of invisible wall here. You can go no further. A doorway back to the waking world. Step through. Let me guess, will the Dawn be here? Oh, I guess he will call on the phone. Alright. Morning, Bartleby. How are you feeling? Fine, I guess. I've been having weird dreams. Oh, like the one where you're driving a car but you're in the back seat and can't reach any of the controls? I can't remember very clearly, but I think it was weirder than that. I really hate that one. Anyway, I found the next cursed thing. It's a hardcover book, about big, and it's somewhere on the campus of the Seaside Institute of Technology in Porkham. You ready to go? I haven't even had any coffee yet. I'm sure you will be able to find coffee when you get there. They probably invented some kind of high-powered science coffee or something. Alright. Do you have a map of the place? No. But it's a college campus. It can be that hard to find your way around. College students do it all day. The bus to Porkham leaves from the usual stop. Good luck. Thanks. You check the message pad next to the phone. There's a note for you. Call Don T with a phone number. Call them up back. Don Toblerone verbalizing. Hi Don, it's me. Ah, splendiferous. Kudos on your triumphal completion of my previous assignation. You're welcome. Is that all? In fact, I have another item of business to be attenuated, which I believe to be suited marvelously to one of your skills. Which one? No, I mean, well, regardless, we require that you proceed apace to Crystaldream Lake, wherein is located the purvey of tools and implements of construction. Say again? You might vernicalize it as a hardware store. Alright, you guys run out of cement or something. We have a necessity that you will perform upon this place of business, but we categorize as shakedown. They owe you meat? No, we are merely the series that the local commercials, retail emporia feel a measure of intimidation. Okay, I guess I can handle that. What's up, Charles? Nothing. What's up, Jessica? Nothing. Can I beat you in chess already? Sleaze Arbor. Cold armor. Why did I lose the cold armor? More cold armor. Oops, I accidentally... Okay. I don't think we can do that yet. Where's that new store? And also, any new hats today? Yeah, look at that. Stench armor. Yep. And then, neither snow nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night is gonna mess up your hair. Mail carrier's hat. It does have cold armor. Wait, didn't we get like something that gives us more... Yeah, more drops. Sure. Actually, I don't think I need it. I would rather... no, never mind. I will keep it on for now. Change my mind again. Anything new here? Trench pants? I think those are new. Maybe not. Yeah, all the chemical. It's a laboratory bench. Ask if you can use it. Can I use this lab bench? Sure, help yourself. Just be careful not to blow anything up. I reserve the right to do all the blowing up of stuff in here myself. Thanks. Use it now. Okay, we can craft pots here, as one would expect. I will make one of those. Can't really make cold armor yet. This must be the shop's proprietor, judging by her lack of eyebrows. Introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Barnaby. Is this your shop? Why, yes, it certainly is. My name's Janice. Janice Chemical. Didn't you just move in? Why is it all blown up in here? Well, I always say it isn't real chemistry if you don't blow everything up and catch your hair on fire a couple of times, so I like to get it out of the way early. What have you got for sale? Acoustic nostrum. With a name like nostrum, you think this would enhance your sense of smell, but in fact it enhances your hearing. Range weapon damage, melee damage, magical weapon damage. Oh, I will buy one of these. This is a solution of copper dissolved in mild acid. It might not seem safe to drink, and that's because it isn't. Maximum AP, and the damage of your... Oh! Until you... This is even better then. Miscellaneous chemicals. Solutions... Okay, that's just the stuff I need to craft. Wait, what was that? Make small talk. How's the new store? It's okay so far. In an ideal world, I have some crayons or colored pencils for you to play with. Ah, I'm not a child. Adults like to draw too. Some of my favorite artists are adults. I'll be back later. Okay. So, let's do the mob quest. Bust up. Then, double check. Oh, the hardware store. Pet store, hardware store. Just off to one side of the trail, you see two things at roughly at the same time. The first thing is a whole flock of those horrible murder fairies dancing around merrily and laughing in shrill little voices. The second is the bloody carcass of a medium-sized bear that they are hopping up and down on, and occasionally chewing. Oh, here's the third thing. All of the fairies stopping what they're doing and turning to look at you. One of them pulls out a revolver and giggles. Another flips open a street razor and makes a noise that sounds a lot like confused and the dying bear. Fight. Easy peasy, clobber. This big camper. Camper. You won. They could call you the Fairy Slayer if that wouldn't be a weird thing to call someone. Fairy Skull Wand. This tiny band is tipped with a fairy skull, which is like a human skull, except it's only about an inch in diameter. This is your mysticality +3. Spooky. Huh. But it doesn't poison. But we don't really need the poison, because everything dies. I will check it out once we arrive here. Yeah, the poison could be better, but for now... Guess I can use this. Hello again, what can I do for you? Propose a shaking. I've been asked to shake up some of your merchandise. Come again. There's some mob guys who want to intimidate you for some reason, so they send me here to shake things up or down. Something like that. Huh. Well, those cans of paint over there could use a good shaking. I ain't go around to do it for a while. Okay, sounds good. Can't say I feel particularly intimidated though. Ask about something else. Do you have some candy? You know that I do, but you also know that I just gave you some. Don't make it read it. No, that was yesterday. It was yesterday. Use plunger. It's a melee weapon. Paints in all of this season's trendiest patented colors, such as squash gray and banana blue and reddish vermilion. This changed. Shake them up. You give all the paint cans a vigorous shaking. The proprietor notes his thanks. Is that all? Guess so. Well, alright. Bus stop. Let's go to the campus. Chapter 3. Back to school. It's probably best not to wander aimlessly around outside the campus. You have to go and find that cursed book. This seems unsafe. Events. All of these events listed on this board either happened last month or are going to happen next month. Theoretical topology lab. You don't have time to poke around in weird labs. You need to go find that cursed book. Finite hallway left. You've seen finite hallways before. You really want to go back down that one? Library. As you enter the library, an elderly man, presumably the librarian, waves you over to his desk.
Hello, I'm afraid I don't recognize you. Are you a student here?
Oh no, I'm just looking for a book.
I'm sorry, the Institute's library is only for students, alumni, and faculty.
It's really important that I see this book though.
I do wish I could help you, but those are rules. You have to inquire at the admissions office first.
Shoot. The admissions department here. Our founder, Junius Fitzgerald Technology. This is either the admissions clerk or someone the admissions clerk pays to keep their seat warm. Hello, how can I help you? Hi, the librarian said I need to be a student to use the library, so I guess I'm here to take the most absurdly roundabout route to my goals possible. Well, you'll be interested in the accelerated course then. Our usual undergraduate degree is a 4-year program, but the accelerated course only takes 3 years is still kind of more than I was hoping. Hours. 3 hours. Oh. Okay, great. How much will it cost? Are you from this area? Yeah, Poughkeepsie originally, but I'm living in Ocean City. Well, you're in luck. What with the accelerated course being discounted, plus a further discount for local education incentives, plus a further discount for the fact that we are in the middle of a break and the facilities would otherwise be idle, tuition will be 100 meat. Wow, that sounds really reasonable.
We also have some leftover grant money for low-income students this fiscal year. If you need assistance, the grant total would come to 3.
I will totally take you up on that.
Great. Sign here, and we'll get you all set up. What would you like to take as your major?
That's a big decision.
Well, since we're on break and a lot of the teachers are out of town, it's actually not all that big. The 3 options available are botany, robotectronics, or chemicals.
Botany combat, robotectronics logic, chemicals difficult puzzle. Let's do logic. Robotectronics sounds good.
Next, choose a minor, which can be geology, metaphysics, or astronomy.
Let's do sillier puzzle. I love to graze on great grub.
You're thinking of gastronomy.
Oh, well, I like to raise on eat rap too. Astronomy is fine.
And finally, you get one elective. Spiders, culinary science, or physical education.
Culinary science. This one is about eating, right?
Cooking and eating, yes.
Nice, I mean. The clerk makes a few notes and gathers some papers. I didn't choose combat because combat I think would be the most boring.
Okay, great, that's everything. Here's your transcript sheet. In order to graduate, you'll need to get each of your 3 instructors to sign that after you pass their class.
SIT transcript. This is a record of your academic achievements at the Seaside Institute of Technology.
Okay, where do I get started? Here's a map to help you get around campus.
Campus map. It's a mimeographed map of the Seaside Institute of Technology campus. Locations.
And here's your student ID. Don't lose that. It's Athena. Identifies you.
This is a blank piece of paper with a pattern of holes punched in it. Apparently the pattern means something to Athena. Who's Athena?
Athena is our campus's security. It's an acronym for ASK, the new electronic doorway security system for access. Never let the guy who builds a thing pick the name. Anyway, welcome to the Seaside Institute of Technology, just in time to my lunch break. Starts right now.
She stands up from her desk and leaves with a wave. Thanks. A little plaque under the photo says, Lucian P. Wormwood, Dean of Students. Shelves of fireboxes, probably student records. The admission clerk is out to lunch. A little sign on her desk says, back in March. Oh, wait. Shelves of fireboxes, probably student records, as the 8-track tape hasn't been invented yet. The nozzle of this drinking fountain is plugged up with chewing gum. It's a gift shop. Not so long ago, shorts this short would cause a nationwide scandal. Jazz pants are popular with the youth of today. A rack of sturdy branded kitchen bridges. It's a weird little pocket of nothingness, just sort of hovering here. Maybe you should ask Jessica about it. Do I have my ring on? I actually do. Oh, wait. Reach inside. That seems like a really bad idea. Are you sure? Yes. I can't stress enough that you shouldn't do this. It might give you some kind of shadow disease, or it might just bite your hand clean off, or anything. Do it. Well, alright. It's on your head, or hand rather. Don't come crying to me if something horrible happens. Whatever. You stick your hand into the hole, grab the first thing your fingers brush against, and yank it out back. Shadow hot dog. A sausage-shaped hole in reality. It has been placed onto a regular hot dog bun for your convenience. Increases your muscle by 1 and the damage for your melee weapons by 5. The shadowy pocket vanishes with an otherworldly pop. This is the most coffee cups you ever seen in one place. The clerk smiles at you as you approach us to see what she's selling. A replica class ring. This is indistinguishable from an actual SIT class ring unless you look very closely at the carved badges, whereupon you will see that they are not themselves wearing class rings. 5 extra XP, maybe if we go farming, yeah, let's buy it. A silvery mark from the Seaside Institute of Technology. It has the school motto on it. Sumus valde captiosis. Sure. I'm buying these because someone might need it. Jazz legs. Oh, a pennant. This pennant either proclaims that you went to SIT or very loudly commands your guests to sit down. Buy it. Dangerous looking kinetic sculpture. This guy must be the janitor, presumably. Talk to him. Hi there, are you the janitor? Yep, that's me. Been the janitor in this place for nigh 60 years. You got any questions? I figured I know about all there is to know about these buildings. Wow, everything? Well, everything janitorial at any rate. I do have a question, in fact. Yeah, what can I do for you, kiddo? Ask about the main lobby. You mean this lobby right here? Yeah. The one I was almost finished mopping before you came in without wiping your feet? Sorry? Nah, yes, Yankee, you. Ain't no difference to me which floor I'm mopping. I see. Ask about the infinite hallway. They said I can start mopping down there till they finish painting it, which suits me since they ain't never gonna finish painting it, no matter how many clever metrics they come up with. Super tasks, my foot. Ask about the finite hallway. That there's a good hallway, goes on for a little while and then it stops. Real traditional, easy to clean, love it. Gotcha. Ask about the vector ring. Somebody scribbled some weird symbols at the wall next to the paradox lab. Don't know why anybody wanna do a full thing like that, considering how every classroom has got a chalkboard for scribbling weird symbols on. Couldn't get any paint to cover it over with, because they're using it all to paint the infinite hallway. Had to use chalk instead. Interesting. Leave him to his endless mopping. Oh, now we can actually go to the labs. Oh, wait. What just happened? Wait, what? This ringing fountain seems to have developed a steam leak. The soda machine appears to have been pretty comprehensively tampered with. Some mechanically savvy vandal has increased the price of a soda to an exorbitant 50 meat. How much is my... Oh, we only have 2 mocks because we haven't died yet. Being near this thing makes your stomach churn. Let's go to astronomy. The door is sealed. Press the Athena button. Speak into the microphone. Can I go in there? Student ID Barnaby the Magnificent identified. Access to this doorway is limited to students and faculty in the astronomy department. That's me. Authorization verified. Access granted. Thanks. You hear a thump as the door's internal lock disengages. Go on in. Yes, the hot dog, the lollipop, octopus, the ice cream, the man, Texas, cigarette, the cube, steak, gun, fish, beer, spider, spiral, house. Okay. World's largest blackboard on loan from the SIT Material Science Department. This must be the teacher, or at any rate, he's sitting at the teacher's desk. Oh, hello. Are you taking my astrology course? Astrology? I thought this was supposed to be astronomy. Astrology is kind of unscientific for SIT, isn't it? Yes, well,
Something the narrow pedestrian view certainly such as the Dean and the Grand Committee. But I suppose if you're just here for astronomy, I can give you the edited version of the course. I am actually in a hurry, so that'd be great. I have 15 constellations diagrammed on the blackboard behind me. Only 12 of them are genuine. All you have to do is mark the 3 false ones. That seems pretty straightforward. How do I find out which are which? By exploring the heavens themselves. Come again? There's a telescope on the roof of SIT Spider Ring. You can get there through the scalar ring. Hold up.
Oh, sorry, that was a sneeze. Ah, okay, I thought you were gonna teach me how to do astral travel or something.
No, I saved that for the 201.
I'll be right back. Access granted if and only if this door is closed. Laundry room. The laundry room is currently closed for repairs. We apologize for the inconvenience and ask that you please refrain from washing your socks in the drinking fountains. This is just a list of all of the other bulletin boards on campus. Barbecue wing. This goblin is concentrating on their cooking. We have never been less interested in the contents of a vending machine. Culinary science, okay. Huh, you think this door would be locked, but it isn't. Head on through then. Okay, wait, let me just pick up my classes then. Speaking to the microphone. May I go in here, please?
Student ID Barnaby the Magnificent identified. Access to this doorway is limited to students and faculty in the Culinary Sciences Department. That's me. Authorization verified. Access granted. Thanks.
You hear a thump as the door's internal lock disengages. One in. The professor is staring at you hopefully. Doctor.
Hello, are you a new culinary arts student?
Yep, I picked it as my elective.
Great. In that case, what you need to do is pretty simple.
What's that?
Just use the cooking stations here to prepare a full day's worth of food.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
I need all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus an appetizer and dessert.
Got it.
Please hurry. All of the other students left for vacation and I'm absolutely starving.
Wait, what? This food is for you?
Well, I have to taste it to see if you made it right.
Right, but the way you say it, that sounded like you're relying on this for your actual meals.
Look, if someone had been teaching this class and getting stacks of free meals for so long that they completely forgotten how to cook for themselves, there wouldn't be anything weird about that, alright? That would be perfectly understandable. Not that anything like that happened, because a culinary arts teacher couldn't even boil water anymore, would probably not have a job for very long, but you know, theoretically, see what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I got you. Hold up. Okay. It's an omelette station. Step up. You review everything you know about making omelettes, and it's exactly one thing. Unfortunately, you don't have a few eggs, so that knowledge is currently useless to you. Ah, it did say it was a test. Okay, so we can't really do this yet. Well, we probably could, but just going to wander around, and I assume we will get into some combat where I may or may not die or choose to die, and then we can get some extra buffs or whatnot. This fountain appears to be hooked up to a supply of barbecue sauce instead of water. Actually, that's dumb, because I don't think we are going to get anything. Yeah, let me see. Filters. Spooky armor. Equip the visor. You know what? At that point, I might as well attach this. You choke down your fear and approach the polter sandwich. If you're going to make a regular sandwich out of this haunted mess, you'll have to start with some bread. You survey your options. What kind of bread do you want to grab as it floats past? A slightly aggressive rye. You give the rye the stink eye until it settles down enough for you to grab 2 slices of it. Oh damn, I don't have high enough stats for this. So yeah, it would have been better if I can't exit sadly. It would have been better if I just go around and do some combat and die. Next comes the heart of the sandwich, the meat. Workman-like bologna. Alright, well, the bare minimum still counts after all. Now is the time to choose a cheese. A lively cheddar. You manage to anticipate the cheddar's movements accurately enough to catch it. And finally, the most important decision of the entire sandwich making process. Which condiment will you use? Mustard. Correct. Good job, I can see you know your condiments. You get an item, acceptable sandwich. Nice. I mean, I guess the results on that probably only affect the XP, which we don't really have to worry about. What's the next one? Sleaze armor. Okay, do I have Sleaze hat? No. Oh, that's a big one. Still, there's a bunch of stuff to do, so let's come back to this a bit later. Frozen food. This door is stacked shut, which is similar to being frozen. They spelled notices wrong, but they were hoping nobody would notice. There's a flyer for a local diner. Might be worth checking out. So hold up. Ah, so the wing that I'm looking for is actually there. Okay. This door is sealed. What is this? Physical education. Press the Athena button. Yeah, we can't do that because we have no we didn't take that course. This must be symbolic of something, probably bats. Wander back into the main building. This sculpture is called Zero Man. That's also what you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, man. Security. This is the most locked door you ever encountered. Sign says this drinking fountain is out of order. Cola machine is at 5 meat. Huh, looks like they forgot to unpack the cans before they loaded the machine up. Crate of cola. This is more cola than any one person could have access to. Take it to the speakeasy. Geology. I kind of forgot my courses. Oh, another one. It's a weird shadow pocket or pouch or something. Reach inside. You stick your hand into the hole, grab the first thing your fingers brush against, and yank it out. A shadow clarinet. Actually, it might be an oboe. It's hard to tell with the endless void pouring into our world through its empty silhouette. It's a combat item. I thought it was a weapon. Reduce all of enemy stats by 13. The shadowy pocket vanishes with an otherworldly pop. These notices have been esteemed to illegibility. Yeah, what's with all the steam around here? Spider wing. Oh, we might be at the right place. The steam vent seems loose. Take it. Yeah, hot, that's weird. Loose steam vent. This steam vent wasn't attached to the floor, so you took it. Where's the steam coming from? It's one of those Athena locks on this door, but it seems to have been tampered with. Head on through. It's a weird shadow pocket or pouch or something. Reach inside. Shadow salad. It would be funny if it weren't so terrifying. Mysticality by 1 and damage of your magical weapon attacks. Okay. You aren't afraid of pigeons, but you're a little apprehensive about wandering into the middle of a huge crowd of them. This is where the pigeons do all of their business. Okay, do I have stench armor stuff with 4 on it? Yep, I actually do. You pick through the coop's contents and gather a few pigeon eggs. A group of pigeons is called a flight and a group of pigeon eggs is called a pile. Mass of petrified pigeon poop. And that's what we actually have to do. Oh. Whatever these machines do, this one isn't doing it. There's nothing over there except even more of these machines. This telescope is pointed up at the stars. Look in the eyepiece. Okay, so that's the cigarette. The octopus. The gun. Steak. These are all real. The ice cream. Fish. Gun. Is that all? Steak, gun, octopus. Yeah, that's all. Okay. I just wanna get back to the... You wander into an empty classroom and find a blackboard covered with complex physics equations. Shrug and leave. I wanna go back to our place, so I don't forget about that. The big pickle. Oh, it actually says the names. So it wasn't a hot dog. It's a diagram of the constellation, the balloon or lollipop or tennis racket. Mark it as fake. The cigar is a real one. The quadrupus. Oh, right. It's a real one. I wanna... Oh, it's the bucket. The pail or the bucket. It's real. Then it's fake. This is also fake. And the cube is also fake. Wait. There's more. Hold up. The demi-tesseract. Okay. The meat. The gun. The 3 little fishy friends, the astral pilsner, the giant terrifying space spider, Roberto's world, the house. Maybe there's like another telescope. Didn't he say there's only 3 of them that are fake? I'm ready for you to check my work. Alright, let's have a look. No, you marked 9 when you should only be marking 3. Were you born under the gun? Is that an insult? You won't have another look through the telescope. Oh, nuts. Wait, what? I can't find all of the constellations. They don't all show up in the telescope. Ah, yes, you could say there's a trick to it. And that trick is? Well, if I just told you the mysteries of the cosmos, it wouldn't be a learning experience. You are literally a teacher though, right? Everything in life is a matter of perspective. You just need to learn how to look at things from a different point of view. Ah, aha. I know. Find a trail of glowing ooze leading from the door of a science classroom to a nearby steam vent. Scrape it up. You never miss an opportunity to get some free ooze. Glowing green goo. Perhaps one day the world will be ready for the secret of it. Wait. Oh, spider wing. I'm just going to check. There's a flyer for a frat party on this notice board. Check it out. Ah, too bad. The party was a week ago. You know down the address just in case they have another party later. Zeta Omega Omicron. Wait, what? I was sure this was the solution. Is it in the background? We played for 11 hours? Jeez. Four, 5 hours on each day so far. I'm going to turn off HDR. Maybe there's another one. Oh, wait. There's a little snippet of Hobogood painted on this unit. The code reads free ice cream inside. Free ice cream. Hooray! You reach inside and grab a little treat. Extra cold ice cream cone. The cream in this cone has transcended ice and graduated to some new, even more solid state of matter. Increases your hot armor by 5. It's actually huge because we need it for the sandwiches. Can I flip it when I'm... No, I can't actually open my options when I'm on this screen. He said something about a different perspective, right? Anyway, let's move on. It's a door. Test door. Disregard. Regard it. By regarding the door, you are instructed to disregard it. Disregard it. By disregarding the door, you are rendered it once again regard it. Ah, I see. The drinking fountain is filled with spider eggs, making it the second grossest drinking fountain you've ever seen. If this warrants further investigation, somebody else is going to have to do it. Meta acoustics. We can don't. Yeah, we don't do that. And we also don't do geology, right? Yeah. A photo of a bare-necked pin-up girl. Scandalous. A shelf full of various industrial cleaning products. It's an Estimop. Melee weapon. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing everybody that the mop does anything other than just evenly distributing the filth on the floor. Actually, probably it wasn't the devil, it was probably whoever invented the mop. You know, that's exactly how I feel about mops. Mops are nasty. This fire escape map would be more useful if it wasn't encrypted. Being near this thing makes your stomach churn. Okay. Oh wait. Now I can go into the library. Another gentleman greets you with a politely inquiring smile. Talk to him. Ah, hello again. Are you a student now? I am. Yeah, I've got my student ID and everything, see? Yeah, that looks to be in order. Very well then. My name is Douglas. What can I do for you? Why does that man have an eyeball for a head? He's quite a sight, isn't he? Please don't be alarmed. I'm more confused to be honest. Ted and our colleague Janet over there to my right share a, shall we say, unusual past. Oh, these are the guys from west of Loathing, I think. Because I remember the lady in that weird machine. What happened? We worked in a circus sideshow together. That was more than 30 years ago now. You don't seem like sideshow material. Perhaps not, but regard. He stands up and turns to face the wall, but he's still looking right at you. His entire back is identical to his front, with another face on the back of his head and all of his clothes tailored to match. What? Please excuse me, but I do always enjoy the reactions of new students. He sits back down to a chorus of cracks and pops as his joints reverse into new positions. Holy jeez. Oh, don't worry, it sounds much worse than it feels. A regimen of stretching exercises keeps me fit as a fiddle. Anyway, after the three of us escaped the circus we had at the east, they took us in out of scientific curiosity and gave us work as librarians. How did you escape? Well, it's not a story that really bears recounting. Besides, the three of us prefer to look ahead, not back, even myself. Haha. What's happening to my voice? Is there anything else I can help you with? Yes? I'm looking for a certain book. But this is going to sound dumb. I've been doing this job for years, and I assure you, whatever it is, I've heard dumber. Well, I don't know the title of the book or what it's about. All I know is that it's a hardcover and about so big and probably an antique. Well, something of that size and age would be in our stacks. All the books out front here are ones that won't be mourned if an undergrad doodles in the margins or uses a slice of bologna as a bookmark. Okay. Is there anything else I can help you with? Yes. I need help with one of my classes. If it's a subject I'm familiar with, I'm more than happy to help. Know anything about astronomy? I have been known to dabble. The telescope on the roof of SIT has a beautiful view, but it only shows half of the constellations. Half? Oh, of course, it seems that way to you because you only have one face. What? You've only been seeing the western hemisphere of the sky. You need to see the southern hemisphere as well. How do I do that? Mainly reposition the telescope to point southward. Down. In other words, down. But of course, you've seen maps before, surely. Okay, I take a word for it. Maybe it is that trick. It's a directory of all current and past SIT faculty. Look somebody up. Look up a name. You looked up me. There's no entry for me. What was the name? Ted. You see, talk to her. Hello there, are you new here? Oh yes, I'm Barnaby. My name's Janet. Please don't be alarmed by my visible mechanical insides. I'm in no pain. Well, that's good, but isn't the immobility an issue? Oh, I'm perfectly mobile. I have wheels, and the robotectronics department has proved me with some very nice telescoping arms. I'm just sitting down right now. Because with the majority of students on break, I don't have any books that need shelving. Ah, okay then. I think I can help you with there. Know anything about astronomy? Douglas does a bit of stargazing. You should ask him. You can see both sides of the sky at once. Can you imagine? I think I get a headache if I try to imagine that. A tall, wiry man with a single giant eyeball for a head glares at you as you approach. Hello? Douglas calls over to you. I'm afraid the stacks are off limits to undergraduates, faculty, and alumni only. So I have to pass all my courses first. Exactly. Once we have all 3 signatures on your course transcript, that will verify them and let you through. And I should warn you, not that I think you're adept to cheat or anything, but that is very good at spotting forgeries and has a lot of pent-up anger and frustrations. That clenches and unclenches his fists while watching you carefully. Okay, then. Okay, let me go back to the roof. Through the lab. Liberal Arts Department. Oh. Okay, wait, before I go in there, map. Maybe not. I feel like this should work. Oh. Point it downward. I don't think I had to do... Yeah, I just had to ask for advice then. Look in the eyepiece. Okay, the cube is there. Lollipop. Dennis. Swirly. Spider. And the sausage. So Dennis, Lollipop, Swirly, Spider, Cube. Sausage is there. Quick before I forget. Ah shit, is it this way? No. Gift shop, library. Is it this way? Astronomy. Okay, so it's the house, the beer, and Texas. These are fake. I'm ready for you to check my work. Alright, let's have a look. He turns and scans the blackboard. Yes, well done. You're a quadrupus. Clearly. Here, let me sign your course transcript. You're completely your minor. Thanks. Are you ready to take my full astrology course? I can sense the pickle rising in you. No, that's okay. Thanks for the offer, though. Well, I'll be here if you change your mind. Not likely. Bye. Alright, we got one down. Laundry room. Alright, tell you what. Feel like my voice is giving out, so also the episode is getting quite hefty, which isn't a problem. But let's take a break here. I know we are in the middle of it, but we did just complete one of our courses, so I think this is as good as a point to stop as any. So I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.